afternoon, depending on wherever you at. The time is recording episode 152 of the Extreme Podcast, man. And it's a college episode, man. We're still in college. College semester may be over for some students right now. Maybe got final exams coming around the corner. But college basketball, it's not March Madness, not March anymore, but we still got a lot of madness left. Final four for both men's and women has yet to be determined. It'll be going on this Saturday, so stay tuned for those games because we're going to be watching them. We're going to give you our analysis. But for this episode, we're going to give you the predictions, but we'll also do a bit of a recap of the previous weekend when some of the most dynamic matchups went both men's. And we're going to start with the women's side first because I think women's college is probably a lot better than the men's right now as we speak. But, you guys have something to say about that. But let's dive into it. And we should start with the LSU and Iowa. I know it's everything to talk about that, but we'll start with the meat and potatoes a little bit later. Let's go with the little veggies first. Let's start with UConn and USC. They're not little veggies. That was a big game in itself. But man, UConn and USC, man, what a matchup. I thought it got away from USC a little bit, but UConn did pull the W. Before we get into that, Kyrie, introduce yourself to the people, man.
Yo, what's going on, man? It's your boy back, man. Let's go. I'm ready to talk some college ball. Colin got me to watch some more women's hoop, man. So I'm ready to talk because there was some exciting games. Yo, them games was exciting. Them games was tough, bro. It was really some good matchups. You should see some crazy performances. I can't wait to chop it up, man. So,
sir, Kyrie, I can't wait to talk this episode with you, Johnny. It's up to the people, man.
Hello, world. Just Johnny stepping back in again, baby. Just an analyst, not an advocate. Just an analyst, not an advocate. Don't hate me. Colin, you got me into women's sports again. I tuned out of the USC and UConn game, brother. I did, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie. I looked at the highlights, but to watch it game for game, I should have gave it more respect, but I ain't going to lie. UConn women's college basketball, let me guess, they won.
UConn won.
Given how UConn women's college basketball has been for the past decade,
no,
I'm assuming they won. Like,
it's weird because UConn, I wouldn't say UConn been struggling because they made the Final Four last year. They made the tournament. They gone to Elite Eights, and they haven't struggled. They just haven't got to that hump of winning the championship. It's been a long time since they. I don't even remember the last time UConn won the team, maybe, or maybe a little bit more. So it's been a long time.
I forgot how many games that team won in a row. I remember one year I just kept seeing that women's team. I think they were close to like 100 wins, like consecutively.
Yeah, I think they kind of had a little run. He was kind of undefeated.
So I'm like, if I had to guess,
it may be a couple seasons they were kind of undefeated. I'm not sure.
It was funny. Ariema has one of the highest. I looked it up. He has one of the highest win percentages of any coach.
Oh yeah, ever. No one's touching that, to be honest with you. Dawn Stanley was a candidate. She might get a shot.
Pat Summer was up there.
Might get a shot.
Pat Summer, he was up there.
Pat Summer. Yeah, good name drop for sure.
Got to pass Summer first.
But Gino.
But see, it wasn't a blowout to what the fourth. Honestly, it was a back
and forth. Yeah, the fourth quarter. But go ahead, Kyrie. Before I dive in, what was you about to say, Kyrie?
No, I was just going to talk about UConn a little bit, and from the standpoint of Gino Ariema, though, because his program and just the names he's put out there, like my more. He's definitely put some names out there, and his consistency of keeping good basketball teams and basketball teams that play the right way, it's just an attestation to what we've seen them do this season, what we've seen them do through the tournament so far. And like watching them, I didn't watch the entire game yesterday. Watching them play USC, I could tell what way that game was gonna go, but two, that Paige Buchers was out to make a name for herself again after being out with that injury last year. And there was a lot of talk of her for a while being the best woman in college basketball. And I think what was it, like an ACL tear, like an MCL tear or something like that. Missed the season. Caitlin Clark went crazy. As got girls like Azzy Fudd and Juju Watkins went crazy. Angel Reese went crazy. So Flaude, all these names started to come up. She kind of got pushed to the back burner, and I think she
Yeah,
put up like 20 and 11 or something like that last night, bro. And I seen like the way she was getting the ball in her spot. She was getting
when it was time to take over in the fourth quarter, in the final minute, she did what superstar. She took some nice shots. She took some tough shots. It was just, she did it all. Passing.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
and
did it all.
with her height and her ability to get to her shot, get that ball in the pocket, but like it's amazing. It's really amazing to see. Like she's a really good scorer and a really good basketball player. And yeah, yo, like I want to give a shout out to Juju too, because she was hooping.
Okay.
Like she was getting some buckets, but they weren't in a flow. Like it wasn't consistent. Like USC's
I'm
offense is
glad you said that. Cause I just looked up some. I had to look up the team stats real quick, and USC shot awful.
they
The
said
entire
I
game.
think Juju was like 9 of 25 or something like that.
Yeah,
Like
they shot awful the entire. But the amazing part is they were still in the game until the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
So
UConn was playing with even in the first half when I was watching. I could yeah, I felt like UConn was playing with their food, like letting them stay in the game for that long, going on scoring droughts, not rebounding the ball as much, allowing them to get second chance opportunity, turning the ball over. Like I feel like they let them in the game for. They really could have blown them out, but it was
15 to
like,
9 to the offensive rebound. You're right, Kyrie. Right.
but yeah,
Was
that was from what I watched, that was a really fun game to watch. And like I said, I think Paige is out to make a name for herself. Um, as far as like all the attention Caitlin Clark's been getting, bro, I think
Yeah.
she's have to get that title back, bro.
Oh, I'm so excited for that matchup this Saturday. Caitlin Clark versus Paige. I'm
That was the best
I'm
possible
looking forward
matchup.
to it more than the men's. I don't even understand. I'm looking forward to that more than the men's.
No,
But
no, without a doubt,
without a
without a
doubt.
doubt.
Johnny, go ahead, Johnny.
yeah, bro. I was about to say. I was about to add in like like basically what it came down to just UConn shooting themselves in the foot
No,
because of
basically,
because
so
USC didn't make any 9 for 25 from the field.
they made their free throws. That's what really kept them in the game. It was 18 for 20.
That's what it was. Yeah.
They
Well,
they made them, and UConn was down the fourth quarter, down the stretch. They missed like 7, 8 throws straight. So it kind of got a little, hold on a sec, and they're making their free
pressure.
throws. They're missing theirs. But
I
another
think
thing
it's
I noticed,
mental after a while.
yeah,
I think it's mental after a while.
it
Yeah.
does. You can see some of the pressure on some of the faces now. It's like, damn, we did like 5 in a row. But Nicole, the UConn's point guard, it could be the shooting guard, depending on because they switch.
The fast one, the one that be zipping up and down the court.
She made 2 clutch free throws that kind of sealed the deal, which was like, okay, finally hit a free throw. It was starting to be like, hold on a second. They were coming back after every missed free throw attempt. So it was kind of looking like, wait, could they pull the upset here? But Paige.
Another thing that was killing them, Allen, allowing her to like being a lead ball handler to get that penetration and to bring that attention. Like like I think like 7 or 8 dimes or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Hold
it
on,
was
I'm about to
like
put up.
she made a lot. She made a lot of those key plays, a lot of those key passes, a lot of like
Paige.
being a decoy somewhat because she's not really looking to score. Even if she can get those little floaters off and stuff, she's not really looking to score. She's looking to get other people open, and she did a really good job of that.
She did. And not just her. I mean, Elia Edwards, KK Arnold, she got in foul trouble a little bit. She did get in foul trouble, but when she was on the floor, she's got that energetic pass. Like she's all in your. She made good key skills. She did a lot, but I do want.
Imagine if they had Angie Fudd and she wasn't hurt, bro.
Yeah, that's another thing. People, AZ Fuzz hurt. Like this team's not even at their full potential. They got like 3 or 4 players hurt. They're really playing on a short rotation.
I think that's kind of why they got over. You guys never really overlooked, but I think that's why they wasn't really like.
That's why they was on.
They was a little slide. They was a little slide. I don't want to say slide because UConn's never really out of it. Like when
UConn's never out of it as long as Gino's the coach.
It's just like they didn't get that attention. Like they didn't really get that attention.
They didn't get the attention. And Gino.
And can you imagine they did not recruit Caitlin Clark? And
no. Caitlin Clark was a high profile.
Now it's like somebody asked Caitlin about UConn, and she was like, she always thought she played there growing up, but they chose not to recruit her. So it's like, man, can you imagine like the type of
They chose not to
not
recruit.
tension, but the type of competitive edge to be
They chose not to
expected?
Yeah. She said they never
Oh
talked to her
my!
parents, never talked to her, nothing.
Mm.
Wow.
Imagine the
Yeah.
competitive edge that she's gonna be like,
How? She was a top 5 recruit when she left. How did it, what they?
and
Oh,
UConn
Paige.
knows how to
They
recruit,
got
right?
Paige.
You
They
talk
had
about
got Paige.
recognizing talent.
No, they had got Paige. They had no
Yeah.
reason. They had got Paige. When you get the
Yeah.
The
number one
competitive
recruit in class,
edge,
it's kind of like,
AC.
and they play her position. It's kind of like, why would you recruit Paige?
And they
So,
kind of built the same. Like her and Paige, it could have been disgusting once I think about it. But
oh no, that would be unfair. That would be cheating.
they
That would
kind
be
of built
disgusting.
it.
Like
I don't know. He probably didn't
no,
see the vision.
that would be disgusting. Paige would play off
Man,
the ball. Paige would have no problem deferring to Caitlin, but Caitlin's a scorer though, so it's kind of like I don't know how that dynamic works between.
shoot, 12 assists last night. Mm.
I was
Paige
about to
had
say, yo,
6 assists and 10 rebounds. She almost had a triple double, but it was some passes that the players did miss when she could have had a triple double, but they missed. But I want to talk about USC, and I feel like maybe it was just me watching the game. I felt like they was kind of denying Juju the ball, like her own teammates. Like there were times where like, okay, you guys really got to go to Juju. Like Damian Lillard tweeted, yo, if you want to win it all, like Melo, just give Melo the ball, let him do his thing,
yeah.
rock out. He carried y'all to the title. So
But the thing, and I understand that, Colin. But one, she took 25 shots. But two, also
Ooh.
you got to take credit.
she,
You got to give credit to UConn's defense because
I did,
they were throwing really well off of those ball screens. They trapped her a couple times. They forced a couple
they sure
turnovers.
did.
They were playing very good defense on
But
her.
I felt like there wasn't enough offensive schemes to get Juju the open looks, and that her teammates were kind of like
Right.
this. Maybe it was just me, but I was really watching, and it was sometimes where like they would not give her the ball, and before she even started shooting, because remember the first 2 quarters she wasn't shooting that much.
He wasn't.
That was
Yeah.
what was confusing to me. Like you give your star player the ball off the rip first and foremost. Not to say that's the most, but when you're that superior, who's the best offensive player on their team? She just broke the NCAA freshman record.
Yep.
So it's like she's supposed to mellow them there, and they didn't really give her spots
You know
until the
what?
third and fourth quarter. Go ahead, Kyrie.
But for her, I'm not worried though because she's a
Oh,
freshman.
no,
Like
not worried. She'll be
I'm not.
fine.
And thing is, she's got that legacy of USC women's basketball on her shoulders, and she's already shown that she can handle that.
They
So,
got strong recruits.
so I don't. This is a salty loss as a freshman. I ain't gonna hold you. You get your team this far, but you lost to UConn. You can't be mad at that. But
Hey,
I
you
think
can't be mad at that. You can't be
I think
mad at
what
that.
you do for that program though, like for these next 3 years that she's got there, bro. I think it's gonna be she's gonna turn that program into
No,
something
they
great.
do. I'm gonna be paying attention to that program. They got strong recruiting class coming in. All those girls are like they got 4 or 5 stars. Like they're gonna be
Oh my
dominant next
god.
year. Oh, they're gonna be dominant next year. So believe that. Now we get to the meat and potatoes, man, from yesterday's game. LSU versus Iowa. Boy, Twitter was trending. People was tweeting during the game. I mean, man, it was crazy. But it lived up to the hype until I guess till Caitlin Clark just shooting threes like no one's built at that point because she was just shooting so far. Like it was like, how did she make that? I'm gonna start with you, Kyrie. Just give me your thoughts, before I swing to Johnny on the game. And what was some of the key things that just stood out to you overall?
Um, one that game felt like a championship game. That was one
Yep.
of the high, like basketball period, NBA men's college, women's college. That was one of the hypest, most exciting games I've watched all season. And it started off from the get go where LSU's defense had no answer for Iowa at first, and I can't remember their coach Mulkey was getting upset on the sideline, had to call time out, get them regrouped, and that's when Andrew Reese came out like a monster, was rebounding, was banging down low, getting free throws, getting layups, and she had nearly a double double by the end of the first quarter, and she was playing very well, and Caitlin Clark too, she was hitting shots. One thing that really impressed me because I watched her in the 316 too, where she didn't score too much, but she still got her buckets, obviously. But one thing that's really impressed me is her passing ability, her distribution ability, how unselfish she is for how great of a scorer that she is. Her ability to pass to spots for her teammates to get open, like for her teammates to get open to, and not directly to them is like damn near NBA level, like NBA point guard level, like from what I've seen. Like it's crazy. And I think, like you said, Colin, a lot of her teammates like fumbled her dimes or didn't really, or like didn't convert her passes or whatnot. But her passing ability alone, like alongside her shooting, makes her such a dangerous player, and that's what she showed in the first half to me of this game. But in the second half, like you said, bro, she came out, she hit like three threes from the parking lot. You see Haley Van Lith, who we was talking about beforehand. I don't understand why they had her guarding her. They had her guarding Caitlin, bro. Like she was entirely too short. Caitlin is too tall. Her reach is too tall. Her jump shot, her release is too high for a player that
I
small
wouldn't
to be.
even say Caitlyn is just. I wouldn't say she's that much taller than HBL, but
No, Haley. She to me, from what it looked like, bro, she's a lot taller than she's a lot taller than Haley. Like she was low key.
how tall Caitlyn? 6 foot? She can't.
They're like 6 foot, and Haley probably like what 5'5", maybe like 5. I don't know. Like she did. I don't.
I
Haley
don't know.
looked.
On the TV, it didn't look. I mean, it looked like Caitlyn was taller than Haley, but it wasn't by that much. But I don't
But
know. Maybe on TV.
even then, granted, she could be the same height.
He's shooting over chairs.
She wasn't guarding her 94 feet. Like they wasn't picking her up at half court. Like there was no bodies on her. There was no left on her. Nothing. And they was just letting her shoot from the parking lot, bro. And they throwing their hands up and stuff. It was like, well, it's y'all fault.
Yeah,
You
Haley
you
throwing
gotta make
up
a girl
her hands in the middle of one of the shots. She's like, I'm like, but sometimes Kyrie, what can you do?
but
What
bro,
can you do?
you gotta bring length out. And I'm not saying it's gonna work, but you gotta show something different. You gotta bring Anissa out, the front court maybe to Angel. You gotta bring her out. She's a little bit bigger. She's light on her feet. You gotta bring her out to contest that. You gotta bring Angel out. What she like? Angel like 6'7", right?
No,
So
Angel not. He like 6'3".
she's 6'3".
Yeah,
Yeah,
6'3", 6'3", 6 almost
she's
6'4".
6'3". Hold on,
I
I'm
must
looking
have
at her.
I
Hold
must
on,
have looked at this. I thought she was pretty. I thought she was pretty tall.
she's
But
6'3".
either
That's pretty tall for a
Yeah, that's
WNBA
tall.
point guard.
Don't get twisted. That's tall.
but still, bro, tall as hell, long arms. Like you got to get her out. You got to get her out there on the perimeter, bro, and make her become a passer, make her become a driver. Like, and I didn't see none of that from LSU last night, bro. And that's why it got away from them in the second half. They were with them in the first half. Johnson had a fabulous game. She had like 26 points, shot very efficiently, got to her spots, was using her body to create space. She had a very good game and was doing everything she could. But it was just
Mm.
like came down to the right moments and the right times, getting the right rebounds, like ended possessions for Iowa, not giving them extra possessions. They just didn't execute that consistently throughout the game, bro, and that's what killed them. Like those second chance
That's it.
opportunities is ultimately what killed them, bro. Because Iowa just kept getting rebounds, and that's when either Caitlin would get it or I'm blanking on the other girl name, but she had a really good game shooting from outside too. But yeah, like LSU, I think LSU lost that game, bro. Like Iowa definitely won it, but LSU really lost like a good chunk of that game, like from
That's fair.
self-inflicted mistake.
That's a fair analysis, John. Give me give me your thoughts. Just Kyrie made some lot of great points. I just key points. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, and, not to echo what Kyrie was saying, but that's basically the same point that I was getting at as well. First of all, it was a great game, back and forth. I was excited to see this matchup, especially given how it was last year. We started covering this, I think WNBA segments and college segments and women's segments a little bit last year,
Yes,
and
good.
that was like just in time because that's right when this, I want to say rivalry. They'll
No,
tell
I
you
said
it's
the
not a
championship game was
rivalry
over.
between each other, but I around the time that's when we first started seeing it, and so it was interesting to see it actually, like, part two of it or whatever, because you saw LSU take the win last year, and this year coming back, Caitlin shooting way better. The Iowa looks more together as a team. You still got the same names for LSU, but this one young star in particular, one of my favorites out of seeing like the stars that emerged from last night. Obviously, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, but I gotta say, Flaudé Johnson gave me a heck of a surprise, and that was yeah, they lost off of LSU, but this chick is only a sophomore, and man, like the 20-point games that she's had against Middle Tennessee to even get them to the Sweet 16, she dropped 21. Then the next game against UCLA, she had 24, 12 boards, and two blocks. And last night, she had three blocks, a steal, six boards, and 23 points. So, like, I like you talk about players that you feel like that young girl from USC that you feel like is a freshman, but that you feel like the team is in good hands. Flaw J gives me good idea for the future when it comes to LSU. The way
No,
she
that's
just competed,
that's
and you
fair.
talk, and the way she just competed, bro. And as far as like just, if you want to talk about switching, I'd have put her on Caitlin to see
No,
what
she
she
was.
can do.
That's what I was gonna say. She
Like I
went.
would have switched it. I would have
He
kept
did
that
have
on
some
there
time on.
longer than the previous matchup because that girl was too small. Like even not even take away the jump shots. Like Caitlin had 32 points. She had five threes. She had eight boards, 12 dimes. But bro, I mean, my fault. She had 41. My fault. She got the 40 piece, 12 assists. But not
Nah,
only the three she made, I think she made like six of them things or whatever. But
he made
anyway, the
nine.
point is, bro, when she was scoring in the paint, did y'all see how she was getting there? She was going everywhere she wanted to go. She was just bigger. She went right every time she wanted to. And every time she went right, she had a scoop layup. I was like, I didn't know she was this small. I didn't either Caitlin's stronger than I thought she was, or that girl is too small. She had a complete overall offensive game. And it just made me realize, like, man, she might be like a little bit more built than I thought she was. Now, granted, her like it took her a minute to get going as far as her assists, but like y'all said, she was getting sold out on by her teammates. But in that second half click, like I'm telling you, she's shooting from the parking lot. Her playing style, I believe the type of playing style she got is unguardable. Like, and let me explain what that. It's like I feel like that type of playing style, you can only stop yourself. Like when a person gets in a rhythm and gets hot like that, I don't think there's a defense that can be drawn up that can like slow it down, contain it, stop it, whatever have you. I think when you get into a rhythm like that, she just man, bro, like the way she had blew that game out. And Angel Reese, along with the offensive rebounding and the putbacks and the paints, I didn't know she was that good of a passer either, Kyrie. I really didn't know. I didn't know that, bro. She's doing lead passes. She's leading fast breaks. She's like playmaking. I remember the one play she had like back to back rebounds, and then she had like a quick dump off assist to Flaw J for like a layup. Like one
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
most grittiest plays I've seen. But and these are women. Like
Yep.
not to say it like that, but more so to say that these like this sport needs like the competitive fire needs to be respected. Like the competitive nature has always been there, like since day one. And I think like for it to be on this type of spotlight, I feel like it's long overdue. Like these women been ballers, they've been hoopers. Like the type of matchups and the rivalries, the competitive natures, the coachings. Well, it was an excellent back and forth. And
No, it was
honestly, I'm excited for the
no, it
future as
wasn't.
well as the performance last night,
The
y'all.
coaching was not excellent. No, no, it wasn't.
Bro, the coaching was first of
Nah,
all
hold on,
the
hold
LSU.
on.
I loved LSU's. I love LSU's coach. She's one of my favorites. Like
Negatory.
she's a why see why you don't like her. She
No,
a
I'm not
she
talking
a
about that. I'm just talking
hometown
about her
hero.
coaching. No, I'm just talking about her coaching. Her
I loved
coaching
her.
was
I
bad.
loved her. You ain't you defensively. That's it
Oh yeah,
because she couldn't do nothing else on offense. They was
defensively,
executed they behinds off on offense.
defensively,
But I'm telling you, the playing style, bro. She's coming across like and Caitlin Clark. Like she accounts for two players to guard her up top on the perimeter, and then she kicks. They got other shooters. They got other guards and
yeah,
that
Kate
can also
Martin.
hit.
Yeah.
It's that playing style, man. It's that playing style. I think Iowa just got hot. Iowa just got hot. I give LSU credit for not giving up and they just kept fighting, but Iowa got hot, bro. 41 and
And
12.
they
Sheesh.
also guarded Andrew Reese very well in the second half too, because Andrew Reese didn't make a lot of noise in the second half scoring wise. She was still rebounding like a mother.
Defensively, he had like three blocks, like in
She had
like
two
But
in
steals.
like out of 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah, two
LSU
steals.
couldn't really get the ball inside of her. Like she couldn't really get the ball inside to her, and when they did, that Iowa's
She was
defense for
getting
that
quadruple teamed. Yeah, she was
Yeah,
getting smothered.
and that's why they had Morrow there. Like she scored 4 baskets straight, I believe, and then I don't know why Kim Mulkey kind of had her out on the like go to her. Clearly she's putting in work, but she kept trying to force the offense, and you know, and like you said, Johnny, I thought Flau'jae should have been because the few times she was guarding Caitlin, I ain't saying it was like she was
She
shutting
had
her
3
down,
blocks.
but she really had
She-
to work for those shots. I don't think she ever had to work for her shots against HVO.
Yeah,
I
but
just thought, why not put Johnson on her?
but I got to piggyback off Johnny and give Caitlin her flowers because like from the mainstream media, you would think she's just a shooter,
Oh
yeah.
but
no, she's scored.
when you really sit down and watch, like, her offensive game is so complete. Bro, I'm talking like you said, Johnny. She was able to go right anytime she was, but it's because she's so dangerous off those handoffs. She has a good hesitation move to get to that little scoop, like little layup floater. She can get to the free throw line and has like a nice little pivot, like footwork game, bro, and get whatever shot off that she wants. Like she has a really nice, complete inside game as well. And she's always so under control and so confident. Like that's the one thing that also struck me yesterday. Like that's
Underrated
how
finisher.
bro. Like she never looks rattled. She never looks like the moment's too big for her. No, she just looks like it's just another game, and she's just here to hoop and go home. Like kind of like almost like KD. Like yo, I'm here to hoop. I'm here to get my 25, 30 points. I'm going home. Like and nothing go shake me. Like that's
And
like that's the vibe she give off, bro.
and the personalities, that's another thing, just the competitive nature and the opposite personalities. You got Caitlin Clark as a silent assassin, and Angel Reese is going to tell you what she's going to do. Then she's going to do it and then tell you that she did it afterwards. Like,
But with Angel's game though, I like that because she's physical and she can rebound the hell out of the ball. She's gonna let you know she got a rebound and a put back over you. She's gonna let you know she can I'm house in the house. Hey, give me that.
who
Like that's
raised her, yo?
you don't talk that shit, and you gotta respect that, bro, because he can back it up. Like she Flau'jae too. She may be rapping and whatnot, bro, but she can back up everything
Word.
she talks, bro. Cause she's a bucket.
I heard
Like
that girl. I heard that girl shoots 500 shots before class in the morning.
yeah,
500 jump shots minimum in the gym, but that's before she go to class.
see,
I
bro,
can't wait to see them on a higher level, bro.
for sure.
Hey, real quick side note: Ice Cube signed Caitlin Clark.
He didn't sign her. He offered her though, and I'll tell you
He
what.
offered.
I love the fact that he offered her $5 million. For people that don't know, Ice
It's
Cube from the Big Three offered Kayla Carter $5 million to
yep,
come play for this season. In my opinion, bro,
and to play, right? You said to play, Curry?
hey, to
Wow.
play. But in my opinion, he is like she is crazy. She is asinine if she doesn't take that, bro. Because you know how many years are going to make her to take that in the WNBA?
Well,
Like
I heard
it's
that they
Sponsorship.
like their endorsements. They still follow them even if they graduate. So she racked up a
that's
lot of.
good. That's good, but I'm talking about straight salary from playing
Yeah,
basketball.
bro.
5 mil versus 100 and
Yeah,
200.
you got to combine endorsements with that just to make up for that, for her to get even close to that.
No, I mean I saw the NIL. I think they was up in the millions. Like in
Yeah,
terms of
I
their
think it's
deals, respectfully.
like 2-3 mil or something like that, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so combine that with the 5 million she made. I don't think she's gonna
1 mil, 3.1 mil.
but
Like,
And then she's still going to the WNBA.
yeah, I don't think she's
but
going to Big
I'm
Three.
saying, like, bro, the WNBA don't pay a lot of money
No,
whatsoever.
it don't. But it's like I don't know if she would just go to the Big Three though. I don't know if that's in the cards. I think she'll just go to the WNBA, or maybe
She still
they
can,
could find a way to make that play Big
but
Three
she
a
can
certain
still
part.
go there eventually. She can still pull a couple of. She can fulfill that contract out with the Big Three and still play in the WNBA. She's
Yeah,
22.
I mean
Yeah,
she might not do it now, but maybe down the years later she may that may be the route to go.
and the Indiana
Um,
Fever #1 pick, right?
I believe so.
I believe they go
Oh, how about that?
right to something, bro. Like they gonna hold on to him. If they got wait like 2 years, they gonna hold on to it. Like they gonna have
Let
her draft.
NB don't even hold on. I gotta make sure.
I think it was the Fever that got it.
Andy Fever are number one. Fever's number
Yep.
one. Yeah, Fever's number one. Oh yeah, they're not letting her go.
You get a kid. Yeah, you get a
Indiana,
kid.
Indiana,
Where
the
does she
Owls.
go? She gonna retire.
Indiana to Iowa. I think that might be probably the best fit for her guard wise. Yeah, it's nowhere else for her to go to.
Yeah.
62. Can I just say 62 threes, y'all? Diana Taurasi had like the previous record of 61 3-pointers
Mhm.
in like a whole entire like NCAA tournament for women.
Right.
And
Okay.
that has been, and Caitlin hit 62 plus last night.
He's still
I
going.
think the first shot she broke the record. I think the first three she made, she broke the record. And I
The
love
record.
Diana Taurasi. Like, we are definitely WNBA fans. Diana Taurasi, you talk about a bucket, you talk about a repeat 20-year bucket, you look
Yeah.
up Diana Taurasi. I'm talking about 20 years of
Legend.
buckets.
Straight up legend.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
one final thing before we go on to predictions. Man, LSU just point guard. I think that was another detriment overall that really caused them to really sink. They had no point. The offense was kind of stagnated at times. HVL's point guard. She didn't even have transfer, to be honest. Her draft stock went from being a top 10 pick, and then after she finished her season with LSU, she's like, I don't even see her on like mock draft. This gotta be one of the worst transfers, probably. Like, I don't know if she can still transfer after, but I guarantee you she's not coming back to LSU. If she can,
Yeah. I don't. That's crazy.
no
Yeah.
point guard. Ooh, Alexis Morris last year. Boy, do they miss her? Or do LSU miss her? All right, let's go on to the predictions now. Man, listen, we talked about that, and Iowa's still in the matchup, but Iowa play UConn. That's crazy. That's gonna be.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's dynamic. That is.
The West on the top for that one.
I don't care what I got planned on Saturday. Nothing's gonna stop me from not watching this game.
UConn.
I'm starting with you, Johnny. So I saying to Kyrie, UConn versus
UConn.
goes to the. Who you think goes?
They don't lose, bro. They
You don't.
UConn don't darn lose. I ain't gonna fraud. It would be. I would love for Caitlin to like, actually get a little bit of get back on them. But
Listen.
I ain't gonna fraud, man. It might be there. It might be Paige's time to show Caitlin that she ain't the only person that can, you know. And I honestly, it's more so because of the team. I'm going more so because of the team, because UConn and what they have done before previously. Has Iowa been here this far? Iowa's never made it this.
They've
been to
never
the
made.
final.
I don't think they made this. No,
Not
they
this far. They
made.
lost.
They made the final four.
Yeah, but I got to go with UConn. I got to go with UConn for prestige, experience. I ain't going for. I don't know how it's gonna win. I don't know how they're gonna win. I don't know Caitlin. I don't know how many Caitlin Clark threes they're gonna have to live through. But I think in the end, they play smarter defensively. They make the better matchups and they make the better adjustments. I think UConn gets it. For the reason LSU didn't. I think they just adjust better.
Well, okay.
I think they will adjust better.
I think they made Iowa didn't make the final four last year, did they?
After they lost, what was after they lost to LSU?
They didn't make the final. No, Iowa did make the final four last year. They was in the championship.
Was it the national championship they lost?
Yeah, it was the national championship. Yeah,
Ooh.
Johnny got me thinking like I'm crazy. Like, what? Hold on.
How many times has UConn been there?
UConn been there
Let's
so
not
many
do that.
times. You just lose.
I gotta go with
UConn.
I gotta stay with UConn.
Iowa got the experience. If you ask me, right?
You think Caitlin might have a hunger streak, and let's not underestimate that hunger streak that Iowa has as a team.
I think it's Caitlin's time, man. She's on the mission.
That hunger streak is real. I understand. You gotta beat UConn. I gotta see it. I gotta see
UConn.
No,
listen, don't get it twisted. It's gonna be a hell of a battle. Paige and Caitlin's gonna be trading shots down the fourth quarter. I can tell you right now. If it's close, Kyrie, if it's within 2 points, whoever's leading, it's gonna come down to shot making between those two. And then whoever gets the best help from the team. Kate Martin she gave Caitlin 21 against LSU. She was a really big help.
Yeah,
that's Iowa last year, this year. What you say, Kyrie?
And Sydney Apfolter too. The other guard on Iowa, she had a pretty good game too. She had some
Sydney. Yeah, Sid. So if they could get that production from those two again, and then Caitlin plays the way she plays as usual, it's gonna be a tough battle. Iowa got enough to pull it out.
I definitely agree with that, Colin, because they've been playing good during the last 2 games I've watched. Like they've been good like support for Caitlin. But I think Iowa as a team, like you said, Johnny, from top to bottom, have the better squad. And I think what it comes down to, I think what they're going to be different from LSU is perimeter defense. Like, and Iowa can score. Like, don't get it twisted. Iowa the past 2 games had 89 and 94 points. Like, they can put the ball in a bucket. But I think seeing what they did to USC, seeing how well they shut down Juju, like I mentioned before, coming off those screens and doubling her, showing two on her,
Right.
and forcing turnovers and making her overall uncomfortable. I think they can do that. Not so much to Caitlin. I think Caitlin's gonna have a really good game, but it's not gonna be as easy as we've seen it so far. And even for like Kate Martin, like we were talking about, and like with Sydney, I don't think them hitting those outside shots is going to come as easy as they did these past 2 games that I've seen for Iowa. So I got to give the edge to UConn, but I think it's going to be very close.
You guys got UConn. I got Iowa. That's the picks, the RCP crew predictions for the women's basketball.
You've been on fire with these underdogs. See, you keep picking.
Hey man, I just listen. Ever since we got upset, it's like God gave me the ability to pick out the upsets now. You know, He wants me to just pick the upset. Got upset. Man, we go on to the Final Four match. NC State, South Carolina, and NC State has one of the former players, Anaya, that was on Carolina's team when they did back in 22, and she's been having an outstanding. Got a great backcourt with they too. So South Carolina. Listen, Kyrie, who are you rocking with? South Carolina or NC State?
I don't like going against South Carolina, bro.
Yeah, you just man.
And NC State's been on a very nice run, both men and
No,
women.
sir.
Their bars are explosive though. Like they are. So now it's like I don't know. It's come down the front court now. And Camilla Cabello, she animal.
I gotta go with South Carolina though.
Yeah, I'm going with South Carolina. I was trying to big up NC
South Carolina for sure. That's a North Philly coach.
That North Philly coach. Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
And North Philly coach. But yeah. All right, that's our prediction for the NCAA women's basketball. Like I said, man, be ready. Stay tuned for the championship predictions as well. Wait, we should do championship predictions while we at it. I mean, if we all got South Carolina, you guys think it'll be UConn. Who you think wins in that matchup then? UConn, South Carolina.
I think it's gonna be the Huskies, man. I think the Huskies take it this year. Huskies take it all.
Okay.
Just a year, bro.
No, I think this is engaging.
If anybody could do it, it'd be South Carolina to match up against UConn. If anybody could do it,
I got Iowa and South Carolina because you gotta think Iowa and South Carolina got some beef too, like LSU and South Carolina do. You guys remember the point guard Raven Johnson? When Cleveland was like waving her off, which was just people making that such a big thing for like anyone that plays basketball. If a non-shooter got the ball, and you know he's not a threat, you live with, okay, they make that shot, but they really make it, occasionally. But that was a big thing. So let's see that, man. Iowa got them ratings. I think Iowa and South Carolina, then as a championship.
Wins it, though?
What'd you say?
Who you think wins it, though?
I'm not going to lie to you. I think Iowa wins. I think
he loves it, man. He loves these underdogs.
I think she goes off in the sunset with that chance. Because I feel like when you have the type of season she had, the only way to capitalize that season is by going out with that. Don't steal it, though. She'll get back there, man. Huh?
Especially since she lost last year in the chip, too.
That's the key point right there, Kyrie. She did lose last year. So why not make it, revenge tour? You already beat LSU on your revenge tour.
Let's not underestimate that hunger. Let's not underestimate that appetite.
I'm not. But you guys, South Carolina and UConn, you guys are going with?
Going with the Huskies.
Huskies?
SC. If anybody can do it, it'd be South Carolina.
You're going to
go with the opposite here.
Johnny got
the
South
North Philly
Carolina.
coach.
Kyrie got UConn, and I guess I'm rolling with Iowa. So we all got different answers. That's if Iowa.
I like it.
So listen, we're gonna come back to this
Come on, y'all.
Monday, and we're gonna talk about this. But listen, moving on to the men's side, man. We're gonna do a little recap of the men's over the weekend. I mean, listen, man. Let's talk about it. I mean, Clemson and Alabama.
Kyrie, I've been dodging my landlord all March. Remember, I told you I was paying rent, right, Kyrie?
Yo, you
Remember, I
gotta
told you, Kyrie, we paying rent with
Every
the teams
team
I'm
he had
picking.
lost. Every team he picked lost.
No, Bama's
No,
still
did you
alive,
have NC
baby.
State? You had NC
Bama's
State?
still alive, baby. I had
You
Wait,
had
Bama.
Bama. You did have Bama. You did have Bama. Duke.
I
Did you
had
pick
Duke
Duke or
winning.
NC State? You
I
had
had
Duke
Duke
winning. I
winning.
remember you had Duke winning.
And I had Bama winning.
Yo, Duke
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
I
Bama.
picked Bama. So then we did the segment D. We did the segment for Bama and Duke, and I picked Bama.
Ah.
Clemson and NC State are the reason I'm running away from my landlord. I have to sneak it. I have to climb it through my window after nights. Because
Listen,
this March Madness has been that random.
Bro, you
Clemson,
gotta talk
Alabama.
about that. Mark Schizzer's out there looking like Jalen Brunson, bro. Real shit.
Really?
Like,
Oh
yeah. He was, bro. He was looking just like Jalen Brunson out there, bro.
Oh
He
my
was,
God.
All right, listen, that's what you want to. You want to put him on that pedestal. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
he
the
got
playing
to.
style, it was annoying like it.
He was shooting from outside, bro. You couldn't touch him. Like he was crying, bro. He was
All right,
crying.
but Clemson and Alabama. Just what's your thoughts overall in that game before we go into the Illinois and UConn game, which I got to touch on that because that was disgusting.
Yo, that game was disgusting. But I got to
Disgusting.
give Alabama props, bro, because they all shot the shit. They all shot the hell out of the ball.
Are
Like
you wait? You
him,
talking about Alabama and Clemson, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Alabama shot the hell out of the
Yo,
ball.
bro,
Gotcha.
I can't wait to talk about that barrage that we watched.
Yeah, nah, that was crazy. But we gonna get to that. But even Estrada didn't have a good game, but throughout the tournament, he's always been a good shooter. But he hit timely shots.
He
Riley
did.
Griffin, who I believe was a really high, like was a really talented high school
Yes.
prospect. He was hitting shots from the corner. He was getting open. He was hitting finishing shots in transition.
Nah.
They looked really good. Grant Nelson, the game before, Grant Nelson.
Grant Nelson. Yo, and I ain't gonna lie. Grant Nelson has been underwhelming this season.
Yep.
If we're being honest, he's been underwhelming.
He has been. He was underwhelming in this game too. That's why Mark Shiz had to take over, bro. He couldn't score. Like I can't remember Clemson forward like PJ Hall or something like that. They one of their best players. He had a hard time. He had a hard time scoring over him, bro.
Alabama's defense has been atrocious. The fact that they made it to the Final Four is kind of mind-boggling a little bit. The offense they have, I understand it, but their defense is awful.
Thank you.
They made some stops though. Just when it came down to it, the past 2 games they've been making some stops.
But Alabama's always been like we never looked at Alabama for defense, bro. We always watched Alabama because we know they can put the ball in the basket.
Alabama, maybe this team is bad defensively, but they had some decent defenses. Like this year's team was awful.
But look, even the team they had with like Josh Petty and Josh Primo and Herb Jones. Herb Jones was like the only good defender on that team. Like they had like Betty Yako and stuff like that, I believe.
Josh Primo was putting in work now back in
defensively. Not defensively, bro. He was a scorer. He was shooting from the outside.
Okay, that's fair.
I always watch Alabama, bro, because they could get buckets. Like that's what I know Alabama for. Like,
all right, that's true.
They coach Nate Oates. If Nate Oates not going to do, if Nate Oates is going to have anything, he's going to have a team that could drop like 80, 90 points on you.
No. Facts. I've never underestimated Alabama's ability to put the ball in the basket. That's what Nate Oates has always been spearheaded. I mean, Javon Quinley's career kind of resurged just by I don't know what happened to him. He chose to go to Memphis, which was beyond me. And look how
but shout out to Clemson though, because they had a really nice run. And I feel like they put on display PJ Hall, who being an ACT fan, I get to watch him a lot.
Yeah.
And I always thought to myself, like, yo, he's a really underrated basketball player. He has a good feel for the game. He has a good touch around the rim, can shoot. Another person that I've seen come up through this was Chase Hunter, bro.
Sure
Chase
was.
Hunter's a really good shooter, and he showed to be a really good scorer throughout this tournament. And Clemson was
Clemson got
that's when you think of the college hoops, when you think about like the 316 Elite Eight, on like Clemson's not the team you're thinking of. Like
never.
that's notoriously known as a football school. Shout out to Dabo
Yep.
Swinney.
Sure is a football
My
school.
main point.
You had two
But
football schools competing. Who's the better basketball school? Alabama came out.
exactly. Like if this was a football matchup, bro, it would have got a million more views. Like
Oh yeah, what?
it would have got a
You know, I'm
million
tuning into that game.
for sure. But nah, they play good. Joe Girard, even though I was kind of talking down on him last podcast about shooting teams at a games, and he didn't have a good game in the Sweet 16 against whoever they played. I can't remember, but he had a really good game too, and he hit some timely shots to keep them in
Clemson
the
played
game.
Arizona. Clemson played Arizona this week.
When they played Arizona, that's who it was. When Caleb Love stunk it up, and
Yep.
Tyler wasn't shooting, bro. So yeah, shout out to Bama, bro. I'm excited
Shout out
to
to
see if they
Bama. Shit. Shout out to Bama for real. Johnny, I'm swinging to you. Give me your thoughts on this game before we swing on to the Illinois and UConn.
Back. I'm just like second in everything that Kyrie said, basically halfway agreeing with you see as far as the defensively comment. I told you they're better than you thought defensively. I didn't say they were lockups. I said they were bigger.
They were awful this whole season. We played them too many times.
But now that come with Clemson not valuing defense as a whole, for real, as a culture. But in this instance, the best defense was a good offense, and the shots were just falling. It was very up and down. But Clemson has been like that this whole tournament. Man, like you said, Joe Girard, you got to give him a shout out. You got to give a shout out to him. 19 points. Ian Shefflin, 18 and 11. But
Shefflin was playing good.
I have to say,
I
have to say the thing they played good, but the thing that stood out to me of how they played was when they scored, because Lord knows Clemson was on a drought, and my God, they just couldn't score for stretches after stretches after stretches. But every so often they would hit a timely three. Wouldn't say they would hit consistent threes because they were 8 for 26, so there was no way in heck they were consistent timely. They were hitting very timely threes. It was won by who hit PJ Hall. Hit a three that cut the lead to 68 to 62. I think that was before Girard hit back-to-back threes. Yeah. Before that segment, when they were down. So that was a nice little stretch right there, and I think they cut the lead to 3. I forgot how much time was up. It was 73-76 after Girard banged another 3. So it was just that timely 3-pointers, clutch attitudes. That sounds like clutch to me all over the board. And that's the stuff that kept tearing my ticket up for the past 3 weeks with this team. Because why is Clemson still in it? But after a while, like I said, I got to give them their flowers, right? I said this in the last segment. I got to stop hating on Clemson. I got to give them their flowers. Them boys was putting up 70 points a game just to compete. And they was nowhere near averaging that in the season. But, the tournament just brings out another monster in certain teams. You know what I'm saying? So
it does.
I got to give it to them and all props to them. But as far
Some
as
teams play with house money.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Now, however, Bama, my God, Mark Sears, 7 threes made out of his 23 points, 7 of them were 3-pointers. Now, let's talk about the first 12 threes they shot. That was like, they went like over 13, bro, or like 1 for 12.
Alabama lived die by that 3, man.
I'm telling you, it was ridiculous. Man, you talk about getting these guys ready for the NBA. My God. But I will say, right, here we go. Timely players that stood out to y'all. Another one that stood out to me, Jaron Stevenson. He shot 2 air balls, made 5 threes after that. Right. I also want to, bro. It's just PJ Hall. We already said him, right? Yeah, you shout out PJ Hall. But Mark Sears stepped up too. But Pringle. Can we talk about Mark Pringle, please? Scoring 8 straight buckets when Bama most needed it. Along with like 4 for 6 from the free throw line. I think this was like in the last 5 minutes on down of the game. Right. Mark Pringle, Nick Pringle. I'm sorry, Nick Pringle. Nick Pringle actually helped close them out. Bama's big man. 8 straight buckets, bro, that led to that 3-point barrage. You had R.J. Godfrey from Clemson that was trying. He part of that run as well too. Hit a monster rebound, but towards the end. But yeah, Bama answered all in all with a 22-6 run, and half of that was like 11 straight in a row, and that was just in the first half. But it was hot, bro. I say all that to say Bama was just hot. It was a game of heat checks and heaters, and Bama was on one. That was it.
That's fair. I don't disagree with you. I mean, great. That was a great matchup. Kyrie, I'm gonna swing it back to you. UConn, Illinois. I mean, shame on the Illinois. That's all I'm gonna say. But I'm gonna swing it to
30,
you.
30
Shame on
minutes.
him.
I sat here and watched it. 30 minutes of
Shame on him.
real time with no
All right,
bucket.
Kyrie, you can go ahead. Because me and C did a live coverage of that, and that was ridiculous. What did you think about it, bro?
Awful.
Yo, it didn't feel
That
real.
second half.
It didn't feel real. And then it got to a point where I started feeling bad.
Ha!
It was, bro.
I
1 for
did.
12.
In the first half, shout out to Marcus Domask.
1 for 12.
Shout out to Marcus Domask, because in that first half, he was like their only source of points. He was the only person that they could look to really get a bucket. Like, Terrence Shannon didn't really have it going. But Marcus Domask, bro, the way he was getting the ball in that mid post, that pinch post area, bro, just backing people down.
I'm pulling
He was just backing guys down and getting to his spot, floater, little layup, fade away. Like, he just made it look so easy. He was keeping them in that game single-handedly by himself for so long. But when when Illinois went on that drop, bro, the only thing I could really remember from that, bro, was Donovan Clingan.
What? No, that's what drove me crazy with Brad Underwood. Like the game, it was like I was watching Kentucky again. Unpreparedness. No.
Yeah.
The game plan was just we're gonna keep attacking Donovan, and it's like, yo,
It's like,
what are you doing?
It's like,
Like,
it's
what
like-
game plan adjustments is going? Like, what's going on?
all of that for him to only have with 3 fouls.
Ridiculous.
Like, and I'm jumping ahead here, but Gonzaga did the same exact thing to Zach Edey. We'll talk about that. Gonzaga did the same exact thing to Zach Edey, bro. Just kept driving right. Just go, and I'm watching it at the Illinois UConn game. I'm like, bro, you can't just drive right at Donovan Clingan. You can't just take it right. It's not going to happen. He ended with 6 blocks, 23 points, 6 boards. Oh, I'm sorry, 22 points, 10 boards. And
double.
6 blocks. Like, he was an absolute monster out there, bro. As far as rebounding, him just negating every shot, just being an absolute menace out there during that drought. And then on the other end, getting offensive rebounds, getting putbacks, getting fat. Like, he just had a monster game, bro. And nobody else really, like, none of the other starters really showed up. Like, Caravan had a pretty good game.
He did.
Stephon Castle didn't shoot well, but he did everything else excellent. He played really good defense, especially off the ball. Rebounded well, was getting guys involved.
Did a lot of
It's crazy because UConn really, they could have drawn even worse. They could have did them even dirtier.
They could have dropped 40 to 50.
They really could have. They really held back, in my opinion, because
shame on Brad.
Donovan Clingan is not their go-to scorer. You got Tristan Newton for that. Like, he's not their go-to scorer. They don't look to him in the post like guys like Purdue does Zach Edey. Like, so for him to get you 22 points and to become to be an offensive threat out there as well as defensive, like you said, Colin, not prepared.
Unprepared. And then his post game was, well, that sucks. It's like, maybe you suck, right? Maybe you suck. Like, what game plan?
I'll say this last before we swing it to Johnny too. If anybody's raising their draft stock this tournament, bro, it's been him.
Oh, you shitting me? Oh man. What? And that Illinois game was like a freebie to me. If you had
that was free scouting. That was free scouting points.
That was the freebie for Donovan to show the scouts why you're probably the best big man in this draft outside of Zach and Alex Stud.
Take him over Edey, easy. Take him over Edey, easy.
Nah, don't do Edey like that. Edey's actually like
drafting a player right now.
I wouldn't say easy, Kyrie.
I would say
him over him, but you thinking twice about it.
But I understand Donovan though.
You gotta
younger,
think twice about it, right?
Potential is just like
body he didn't even really fill out yet physically, nothing. Like, I feel like I feel like with Clingan, bro, he's so far from touching the surface that he may drop low enough for him to even be considered a steal. Like the steal in
Okay.
this draft.
No, I think the way he's playing, and if he goes to the championship game, I think he solidifies himself as definitely a first round lock, and then he flies into that lottery between 8 to 14 at that point. And then it just comes down to team. Obviously, it just comes down to who gets what. But he's
Yeah,
definitely played himself into like he's a lottery.
yeah. I think he's got a lot of untapped potential. Like a lot of stuff in the bag we haven't seen yet.
No, we haven't. Johnny, I'm swinging to you. Talk about the coaching disaster that Brad
Yeah.
Underwood, the coaching malpractice that I witnessed again.
Call it a malpractice. Call it
Just
a
Coaching
malpractice.
Yeah,
You
man,
got the lawyers.
it was criminal. I couldn't believe it.
Get your lawyers.
They just
Get your
drove
lawyers.
down. It was like, so no one's making adjustments? Not the assistant coaches to the head coaches? No one's going to make an adjustment? We're going to keep it diving into Donovan? So,
Colin, you have been calling out the lack of coaches making adjustments.
oh,
since-
yeah, I'm coming at every coach that makes
So you
like,
use on every from that ever since that Kentucky camp, you've been on every coach's ass.
every coach.
Like since this tournament started, and I got a lot. Kyrie, he ain't wrong in this one. You
Not.
go 1 for 19. Can I just start off with that? One, I almost ripped the paper off of this one. I'm not even done with the stat sheet, but this 1 for 19, bruh. You talk about it almost didn't feel real. It almost didn't feel real for a team to not make that many shots.
Mm.
Y'all didn't go to the free throw line. Y'all didn't like nothing.
I was
1 for
debating if I was watching the
19
tournament game and I was watching.
to start the second half, bro. Mark,
Pre-recorded
like, now,
exhibition game or something. I couldn't tell anymore. It was just like, what am I watching?
It was
Dude,
like when Virginia dropped 17 points in the first half of the.
I wanted to say that. I was gonna say, okay, I gotta give Marcus Domas his flowers. He was
Nah.
15 in the first half, but then
Brian,
you
he was the
know.
only one.
Now you talk about a transfer. Now listen, we was joking around before, guys, to our audience about a transfer portal before we came on the air. I need that guy. I would vote for him, Marcus Domas, to get to use the transfer portal to maybe consider other options or just stick with Illinois. But I'm just saying they need to give you an apology for that performance that you tried and that team just couldn't back it up. But to be that as it may, before I keep kicking Illinois, I got to give credit to where credit is due, guys. They went up against a monster of a team in UConn.
I'm sorry, there.
And
They went against the
I gotta
monster,
say,
but
bro, they're better than what we thought, mainly with
it
the
could have been a
players
better
that
fight than what we saw, bro.
I gotta say, they got players that stood out to me. Like, yes, be that as it may, a 30-0 run is crazy. But let's not take away from, obviously, the performance of Donovan Clingan. We're not going to take away from the performance of Hassan Diarra and Samson Johnson, who
Of
I
course.
also liked off the bench, that I think only missed one shot between the two of them, that also
Yeah.
contributed evenly. And also, I also want to mention this one freshman that UConn has. He's a little bit better than I've given him credit for. Stephon Castle, I got to give it to him. He had a quiet game until probably about the 7-minute mark in the second half.
Right.
Where he got he started off with a big. Remember the young boy had that crazy dunk that basically started it off.
I'm done. Yeah.
Stephon Castle. Honestly, bro, he's averaging only 10 points per game. But if you watch UConn and look up their season games, he's led that team in scoring in a couple of games a few times. So he has that takeover potential and a little bit better than I gave him credit for. So it's more, I got to credit to their others a lot more. And honestly, that was a part of that organization and the type of players that they have that obviously 30-0 run don't really happen like that. But I will say, bro, before we keep getting on Illinois, let's not forget who UConn was, man. Like they just had a good all around collective effort, bro.
You want to limit the shame that they performed.
I'm trying to keep it. You're like, give me the spotlight and put it back on the coach. No, we're not going to inch out of here. Don't let that man sneak out the room like that.
He's a great coach. He's not a bad coach at all. That was just, I don't know what. That was coaching malpractice that game. That was just, I don't
get it. I don't get it. See, I do understand. There was no timeout. Did they call a timeout during that run?
No.
Wow.
Coaching malpractice. John Calipari, coaching malpractice. Both of them.
Man, Illinois did better, man. They played better defensively this year. I don't know what happened with that. Like, I get it, but
listen,
like
man,
I said, like it just you couldn't get it was no collective effort from anybody else. To
Listen,
go
man.
1 for 19 is ridiculous.
Listen.
Nobody else is. There's no collective effort there.
I don't
I
even want to
can't
talk
even
about
give too much of an assessment on Illinois. It's more their failures more than their success. But yeah, UConn all
I
the
don't even
way.
want to talk.
It ain't their
I don't
fault.
even want to talk about that game anymore. That game was atrocious. Let's get to the next game. The second of the
Yes,
biggest game, I
sir.
would say. Tennessee and Purdue, man. Shaquille O'Neal, man. 40 points. Had a double-double. He just straight manhandling. He was just dominating Tennessee. And the guards, too, stepped up. Purdue's guards absolutely stepped up. The Kai Ziegler from Tennessee, like Tennessee just did not get the help that they desperately needed from the squad. I'm gonna swing it to you, Kai. Just give me your thoughts on Tennessee Purdue.
Excuse me. So we mentioned it, like when it comes to like a guy like Zach 80, bro, you just can't drive the ball directly at him. And I feel like there was a point in time where Tennessee was playing like Purdue good. They were playing 80 well.
Yep.
It got to a point where I feel like they started to panic and try to start like getting him into foul trouble, and it just wasn't working, and he was getting too much position on the block. Braden Smith was doing a good job of distributing the ball to everybody. They were hitting threes. Fletcher Lawyer hit good timely shots, and I honestly think it was just too overwhelming. And Zach Edey himself with his 40 points and 16 boards, it was just simply too overwhelming, bro. And like Tennessee just simply didn't have the size. Like he just didn't really have the size to compete with him. They had a nice little stretch of slowing him down.
Yeah.
But once once Purdue was able to work the ball around the floor enough and to get Edey open and to get the ball into him, it was curtains. And I don't think anybody on Tennessee side outside of Dalton Connect, because he cooked. He had like 37 points, I believe. I think he had like 6 threes.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody on Tennessee side outside of Dalton Connect really had like a super impactful game. Like it really looked like a lot of the pressure on him. As Zakai did play pretty good. They doing Josiah Jordan James played like they did what they
Lance
could.
Jones tried.
Say again.
Lance Jones, he tried a little bit.
Yeah, they all tried, bro. They all tried, but like he's just too much, dog. And I don't think, like I said, I don't think Dalton Connect got all the help he could have had from his teammates in that game. And there was some times like Dalton did try to take over, bro, but it was just Purdue as a whole, like as a unit, like their whole team just had it clicking. Like when everybody's hitting threes and role players just getting hype and putting strings of baskets together and stuff like that, bro. And Edey still manages to have 40, like it was like within that, bro. It was too much for them, dog.
Bro, I gotta piggyback, but even to your point, they're so complete of a team that even when they're not hitting threes, they're still in a rhythm in other ways. They shot 3 for 15 from 3-point range. Nobody knew, couldn't even tell because the way they work as an offense. Braden Smith, I think the game before this he had 15 assists, so he's already coming in as your primary playmaker. They had over 20 plus assists the past 3 tournament games.
Yeah.
Just them collectively, they don't have to rank. It's like I think that was ultimately what happened. Is like I said before, like we said with the Bama game, right? They just got hot, right? It was a heat check. It was a heater game. When you're on, you're on. Bama was on the upside of that. Well, this is what happens when you're on the opposite. Because Tennessee couldn't make shots at the end, and it just really kicked them. They just ran out of gas, bro, and they didn't have any other collective areas of offense. Purdue, like I said before, 3 for 15 from 3-point range. Did that stop them? No. They worked the ball inside out. They were they were way more efficient. They had more they had more assists as a team. Better offense, bro. They just had a better backup. I do want to point out that like it was 6 ties, 8 lead changes. So you can't say that this thing wasn't a back-to-back and wasn't like going back and forth. Dalton Connect and Zach Edey themselves. Have you seen college performances, bro? Come on, Kyrie. Like back and forth 1-on-1. I'm like, whoa. Had me standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down. I will say they were the only two teams that saved my ticket because I did have them pick. I did have this rematch. I did have this
Mm.
rematch. But Kyrie, I did pick Tennessee. I did, man, and I just thought that they would just get their lick back from last year. But as I said before, Purdue was just more complete. Did you see how they were running the ball inside out? Look how Zach Edey was being used from the foul line. That offense from the foul line, they gave him the ball and they spread out around him, and he just made the right play. And it was
Mm-hmm.
just very, very interesting to see the basketball IQ that he had at such a young age, how they
Yeah.
trust him with the ball, with that offense. And it was just cool. Like, it was just the game of the big man. He brought back the big man. You got to do a little bit better on your free throws, 8 for 22, but I think he was getting gassed at the end. But even Tennessee, bro, they just lived and died by those jumpers, man. Connect missed like 2 threes with 3 minutes left. And I think
Mm-hmm.
Lance Jones, excuse me, I made a mistake. He actually plays for Purdue. He banged a three that put them up by 6. And they did, and Tennessee just didn't have anybody else to respond if it wasn't Dalton Connect. So yeah, they was just too small, bro. That's another thing you pointed out as well. Zach Edey back-to-back 40-point performances in the tournament. Ain't nobody do that for Purdue since Glenn Robinson, actually. Glenn Robinson. Yeah,
Shaquille
bro, that
O'Neal,
it was
man.
just too small. Shaquille
Shaquille
O'Neal,
O'Neal.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I think Purdue got to a point where they was like, yeah, we're cool with just letting Dog Connect beat us. Nobody else will. Like, that's what it looked like out there, bro. Because I was like, they was just letting him cook, but nobody else could get it going.
Of course. I mean, he's the only threat. I mean, listen, I always said Rick Barnes, and as great of a, is he a great coach? Some would say yes, he is. I'm still 50-50 on calling him a great coach. Is he a good coach? Absolutely. A great coach? Maybe. But I will say, if he couldn't go to the Final Four with this squad,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when he'll ever make the Final Four again. No, it was. I don't know when he's never made a Final Four.
Never.
So no. So if he couldn't do it when you had a superstar talent like Dalton Connect, I just don't see where it goes for.
Yeah, bro.
I
My
just don't see.
God. Dalton was supposed to save me, see. Dalton was supposed to save my he's supposed to save my ticket. I had him going to 80. I thought threes, Trump. I thought it was a new era of the three-pointer. But if he just had a little bit more help, Zach Edey was just on a more complete team. And like I said before, he brought back the big man. Back-to-back 40-point performances, bro. That's not to be taken lightly.
Yeah, man.
And you got Jonathan Clinton over him, Kai? Still?
Yeah, I would take him.
Woo.
Listen. All right, listen. We're gonna go on to the next and the last matchup of the recap.
Yes,
NC State
sir.
versus Duke, and I mean, Duke looked pathetic. I mean, that's putting as lightly as I can because Jared McCain
First
was
of
the only
all,
one that
say
showed
what you
up to
want to say.
play.
Go ahead. Say what you want to say because I did pick Duke. Remember that our segment, Duke.
Yeah, I don't know why you
C.
picked. I told you. I
Cause
didn't
man,
think it was a good
you
team
know
this
what?
year. I told you this. I stressed this out to you, but you still wanted to roll with the Dukies. So I let you roll and you stepped in some Dukies. So now that's just what it is now.
Hey, Kyrie, C always said that he felt Duke was never that good as we were making him out to be. He thought that they were just like things have been falling in their favor
Of course,
throughout this tournament. Would you think so?
Um,
they had the.
they,
If you
Given the
look at
Houston
if you
game
look at
and
if
they
you
how
look
they
dominated.
at
Listen. No, I hear what you're saying, Colin.
it was made
Because,
up for them to go far.
but the only thing I could agree with that is towards when they was playing Houston and Jamal Chad went down, and
No,
they still allowed Houston to be in the game without their best player. They was letting LJ Cryer do whatever he wanted out there, and
yeah.
that's when I kind of got iffy about Duke, and like I
How
kind
about
of
yeah,
felt
okay.
like what Colin said might be right or has some type of like relevance to the current Duke squad because there was some times where I watched them this season and they were off their game. Jerry McCain, even though he's a freshman, was off his game. Or Kyle Filipowski just wasn't aggressive offensively. Or Tyrese Stockton didn't have a good game and didn't really impact
Yeah.
he was
games.
disappointing all year. Don't even get me started on
Or
Jeremy.
either Jeremy Roach, but Jeremy Roach always plays well in
13.
tournaments. And towards the end of the game, he played well. But and during this game, bro, it was again. I think it was Filipowski and Tyrese Proctor not being factors offensively, and losing up to Jared McCain, a freshman, to be the main focal point of their offense. And Duke played good defense. Like they played good basketball starting off in the game. It was a good fourth game starting off at first. But NC State, bro, once they started getting the ball to DJ Burns, and he started creating space in the middle of that floor and getting passes off and hitting guys in the weak side, like that's when their offense really started to heat up, and that's when DJ Horn started to take advantage of that and hit shots from the outside as well. So I
That's
think,
crazy.
and honestly, they play with more heart. Like they play with more heart than Duke, bro. And I don't. It really just
I was
showed, and
surprised.
it really
How
just
was it?
showed, and how much they embraced the crowd, how much they embraced being an underdog during that game, bro. How they competed tooth and nail. Like they really just seemed hungrier and play with more heart than Duke, in my opinion.
They did. I mean, listen, I'm gonna swing it to Johnny, and then we go on to the next and final topic. Go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, can I just say thank you, North Carolina State. All right. Okay, you made your point. You are to be respected. You guys deserve to be where you are. It's been this long. I bet against this team one too many times. See, we've been seeing this. I kept trying to pay rent off this team, and they have just been taking it as disrespect,
And all
and
you
they have
did was
just been
apology.
continually, bruh. They not going for it, Zach Allen. They said not on us, brother. You have to get a job because I'm telling you, fourth seeded Duke loses to them, right?
Why you
After
surprised?
beating Houston, right? But I will say, all right, I'm always a firm believer in not. It's how you lose, right? Because losing's part of the game. It's how you lose. And like you said, Kyrie, no heart. They took their heart. They
Mm-hmm.
just folded. They just had more heart than them. If you're gonna go down, you need to go down swinging, firing. Duke, I feel they just got their heart taken. Like they got the momentum just shifted, and they just had no tenacity to try to get it back. I thought they were bigger. I thought they were more physical. I thought they had.
More physical.
I thought they had the assets, bro. It's just like you
Next.
said, they just had that.
You know what I
That
said?
thing in the chest was just bigger. Now, what I do want to point out was a turning point that signified whose heart was bigger. I'm gonna tell you what happened, and you guys know what happened. It was around the 8-minute mark. What happened? Filipowski went up for a layup, and it went off the shot clock.
Yeah.
And they had said it was a foul. NC State coach loses his mind. Coach Keats loses his mind. Gets a technical foul for it.
I remember. Yep.
From Duke.
Uh huh.
Jared McCain from Duke.
By the way, shouldn't have got one.
Shouldn't have got one.
It went, bro. That was, you talk about a fire up. That's exactly what NC State needed. Because after Jared McCain hit those free throws, they came right down. And what was the play after that? I think it was that N-1-3, as a matter of fact. Because after he hit those free throws, they came right down. It was Ben Middlebrooks. My fault. He had to steal. He had to steal that led to the 3-point shot by Michael O'Connell,
And then shout out to
which
Middlebrooks.
ended up being the N1, which ended up giving them NC State the ball back. And then they gave it down to DJ Burns, who was just barbecue chicken. Bon appetit. If y'all remember that meme, in the paint, bro, it was just crazy. It was just crazy. You talk about baby Zebo. I have never. He's like he's 6'9", 260 pounds. But the footwork, the hesitation, the back to back, like that kid was playing like an old head at LA Fitness. You could tell who raised him. Like his uncles, they taught him how to play ball, and they just found a matchup and they just exploited it, bro. The paint presence was incredible. I've never seen a paint. Donovan Clingan, Zach Edey, DJ Burns, like shout out to the big men. Shout out to all of the big men bringing back that position this past weekend because oh my God, bro, 29 points. And I mean, what he was like, I think to start the second half off, he hit 11 straight, or he was 9 for 11 altogether in the second half. Just good shot selection, great placement. Now, at the end of the day, Duke, you got to make shots. I've never seen a shooting performance this bad from them, and I think that's where the mental aspect came into it. They shot 32% from the field, 19 for 59. I think NC State their defense has just been underrated. They've been holding opponents to under 40% shooting all tournament. I don't know why I'm just now noticing that, but like Duke, they've been holding opponents to under 60 points the past few games. What happened
Mhm.
here? So you could go off paper all you want, but at the end of the day, it came to that thing that just can't be judged. And we just saw it with NC State. I noticed it around the 8-minute mark right there after that little turn up event. And what transpired after, Duke just never got back, bro. They just got their heart taken, and that was it, brother. I mean, Jeremy Rhodes, 13 points at the end of the game. You tried, but
No.
it is what it is. That's what the tournament's for. You can't count these teams out,
I
bro.
mean, he's trying
God
to give
dang,
him so
I
much,
quit.
so
But I
much
want to.
like
I
praise,
quit.
and I'm trying to tell him like,
I
no.
want one thing to piggyback off you, Johnny, because when you said like it like that turning point, bro, like it shifted to like that's when they offense shifted to DJ Burns, and that's when we really, like you said, he went 9 of 11 in that half, and he really started to like get comfortable down there, really make his mark down there. But I want to say even from the beginning of the game, I think Duke underestimated him. I truly
You
believe
got,
Duke, Kyle
you got
Filipowski,
to.
Mark Mitchell, the two big men that played him all game, that were down there in the trenches with him all game. Bro. I think they underestimated him. And then
They sure did.
when they seen his basketball IQ, they seen his touch, his ability to be a hub offensively at getting guys open, making connecting passes, not necessarily
Mm,
the assist to the assist. Seeing how he operated, bro, on that block in that paint up on that free throw
yep.
line. I think they had like a oh shit moment and was like, yo, this dude could really hoop. And and it showed because Kyle wasn't when it came back like to on the offensive end, Kyle would like try to attack him but couldn't really be physical with him or nothing. So he settled for a lot of jumpers. Mark Mitchell not a scorer. So when you got
Sure is.
and his thing is rebounding and starting fast breaks and getting out of transition like that, he's a motor guy. And
I mean, Kyrie.
you can't really get the motor started and you can't box your match out. So
It's
that I honestly think they underestimated him, bro. And because another thing was Duke's defensive game plan to me didn't seem like, yo, we got to make sure DJ Burns is contained. Like no, it didn't look like that to me. Like it truly didn't. It didn't look like they wanted to limit him. It didn't look like they were worried about or keyed in on him, knowing that he's a hub of their offense. And a lot
right.
of guys feed off of what he's able to do. Because remember in the who did NC State play before that? Marquette. He didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think he cracked double digits, but he had so many dimes and so many good passes, so many connected passes, and he kept the offense moving.
Yeah.
And I don't think Duke was ready for that, bro. I think they underestimated that.
No, I just think Duke was just an average team in my opinion. Not only that, the roster construction that John Shire went into, his roster construction, this year's roster was awful. The construction of the roster was just out of order. They really had no set guard outside Jeremy Green. Caleb Foster got hurt. He was not able to play. Tyrese Pratchett was probably the biggest. Should have just went to the NBA last year at this point, Kyrie, right? You should have just gone. This stock is, I don't see it on my.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. That's self-explanatory right there. So I just don't think Duke was honestly that. Duke was an average team for the second half of the season. The beginning of the college season, Duke looked like a national team. And then the second half of the season, we got to saw what Duke. I wasn't surprised. They should have made it to Elite Eight, in my opinion. They had a sweet ride to the Elite Eight. Jamal Sheed getting hurt by Houston.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. Get out of here.
No,
So
that's
yeah.
fact.
Duke.
If they had Jamal Chan didn't get hurt, bro, they would have whooped Duke. I'm
Oh, you
sorry. And
can't. I
I
know.
had Duke winning. I had Duke winning too. But
I
I
ain't go
didn't
for no. That was 17 points per game, player of the year,
That
ACC
and
player
his
of the year.
defense too. You don't. I just that was like Duke was an average team in my opinion. I thought it was a good team, not great, just good and average. So let's go on to the final topic now: the predictions of the upcoming Final Four matchups, and they're dynamic too. The women's is probably a little bit better, guys, but we know we're
I
not going to sit there and hate. We're not going to hate. We're going to show some love.
Yeah, let's
Listen,
not make no. I still gotta pay rent.
you still got to pay rent. I don't know, man. I think you should stop.
I can
Just
get a
work
straight Final
hard.
Four. I can get the rest out from here on out.
Let's all right. Now I'm gonna swing it to you, Johnny. You gonna start Alabama and UConn?
I'm going with UConn. Absolutely UConn. Donovan Cook,
No,
they're bigger.
he
But
was
you
itching to
knew
say
I was picking
Alabama.
them.
He was itching to say
UConn, I
Alabama,
can't.
Kyrie.
They're losing. They're not making it that far. They can't make
He
it.
was itching to
They're
say
not doing a
Alabama,
shooting
Kyrie.
performance like that again. They're going
Brother,
cold. They're not shooting like that again. And even if they do, they too darn small. I'm not doing it. All right, we got to pay rent. I love you, Sears. But
So you
he's
learned your
done.
lesson. All right.
I'm not. Bro, the way they won was so untrustworthy. Like, I can't. The way UConn won was way more, like, for my peace of mind. Like, do you know the type of shooting performance Bama's got to have again to be able to compete with
I don't
UConn?
care what number they're not being UConn.
They're not unless they shoot freaking, what, 10 threes?
Hey,
Made 10 like, go for 10 plus three-pointers. Because they had no defense, bro. They are going to get chewed up and spit
that's
out.
exactly why they're gonna get demolished.
I
Alabama
love you, I love you, Mark Pringle, but no, not against Mr. Klingon. Kling Kong, as they call him.
All right. You know what? With that being said, Kyrie, go
like
ahead.
that. I like that. I'm running with that, Johnny. But whoever made that up, man, I'm the number.
That's they calling him.
Hey yo, Alabama, UConn, Kyrie, who you got, man?
I gotta go with UConn too. I don't expect Tristan Newton and guys like Stephon Castle and Cam Spencer to have the non-impactful game that they had last game. But yeah, I think they're just gonna be too overwhelming. Those three guys right there, especially with Klingon, they bring so much, and I think they can match Alabama's energy as far as getting shots up and want to put points in the basket. But they could do it at their own pace. They could do it within a half-court offense and not have to be up and down basketball all the time, fast break basketball all the time. They could
That's
get you in a half-court offense, make you play at a pace, and like still make you feel like the game is going too fast for you. So I got to go with them, bro. I just think they're too complete of a team to lose to Alabama right now.
all right. 3-0. Me, Johnny, Kyrie.
Their point guard had 12 boards alone. Spencer had 12 boards by himself.
Spencer's good. He's another guy people look at and think he's just a shooter, but he's a really good passer. He's got a nice little floater in between game. He's a really good all around player in my book.
And he will get dirty.
Okay.
I think he's
All right.
another part of the transfer portal, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. All right. The next match, NC State versus Purdue. Now I will say this much before I swing to Kyrie. I want to say NC State. I want to say NC State. I really want to say NC State.
Go ahead and switch like me. You've been rocking with your underdogs, though.
But I've been winning with my underdogs. You've been losing.
You have.
But with that being said, NC State, Zach Edey versus DJ Burns. That's a hell of a matchup. That's a hell of a matchup. I ain't gonna lie. They gonna be going at it.
I think Edey's height gonna be too much for him, bro.
Really?
Because
he got the weight to match up with Zach. But the height is the
problem.
Burns
is a vertical threat defensively. Not vertically. As far as standing his ground and being a body to bang with, I'm not even going. He's perfect for that.
Right.
For challenging shots and not fouling, I think that's going to be tough for him to do, bro. I'm not going to cap.
You know what? All right.
But I will say NC State, their other big man Diarra, even he got in foul trouble last game though. But he's a like a more of a mobile big. He's longer. He's got some bounce to him. I think if they kind of play like a zone, like we've seen Steve try to do against Edey, and I think they could have some success just because they got a perfect balance of power and length coming from Diarra.
Okay.
Bro, I'm just thinking of Edey posting up DJ Burns right now, bro. This making me cringe. I think that's.
You're not wrong, Kyrie. You're not wrong. I'm gonna take.
Wait, hold on, Johnny.
Go ahead.
Get two piece. Who do you have in Kyrie? UConn. I said UConn. NC State. Who do you have?
My fault. I cut you off to begin with, Colin. You really should give yours first.
Huh? Oh, I was giving mine. I was okay. NC State, the home of the DJs. Yeah, DJ Dennis Smith Jr. was
this
DJ.
One's hard, bro.
DJ Dennis Smith Jr. was a DJ, right? So DJ.
I guess.
Now I guess they got DJ Horn and DJ Burns. I might go with the home of the DJs, man. I won't lie. I might go
It
with
was a
the
DS.
DJ.
Not just because of the DJs, or do you
They're
think they
gonna
got
lose
a
this.
important task?
Listen, I know Purdue. I feel like Purdue is gonna dominate. I really do, but I just don't want to count out NC State.
Listen,
don't. They made it this
I'm
far.
not.
They made it
You're
this
not wrong.
far.
That's what it with me, bro. I've been
Pick 'em.
counting NC State out the whole tournament, and they've just been shutting me up every time. I feel
They
stupid
made it
against
this
them.
far. You can't count them out. You
Pick 'em.
can't.
Pick
But
them.
I
See,
feel
you're
like
not
Zach
wrong.
Edey got
I'm
too much
still
to
running for my
lose if he
landlord.
loses this.
Listen here. Listen, are you good there? How about this? I'm not even going to advocate. I'm just going to analyze here. It may sound like I'm not even going to advocate. I'm just going to analyze. I'm going to tell you this now. Zach Edey is big, but DJ Burns is 260 plus pounds. If he can keep Zach Edey around that foul line area, NC State can crowd out. NC State can give Purdue a tough time shooting around the perimeter. Let's not forget
Johnny,
they went 3 for
hold on, Johnny,
15 in their
because you
last
made a key
game.
point. NC State has better guards than Purdue.
Yeah,
Like,
so hear me out. I'm
not
not advocating. I'm just analyzing. Let's not forget Purdue shot 3 for 15 for the 3-point line. I'm not gonna say it can happen again, but I'm not expecting them to shoot the cap off, bro. Like, don't be surprised if they don't. They just hit some timely threes. NC State has been holding opponents to under 40% shooting throughout this whole tournament. They've committed to defense, man. They've been holding opponents. Like they've been holding opponents to under 40% shooting, and on top of that, Purdue they're not known to go snap on you from the 3-point line instantly. They're a team that can work you inside out and all around, but they gotta get a rhythm. And I feel like NC State, if anybody's more gritty, more blue collar, more aggressive, more reckless to an extent to get in these guys' faces and knock them off that Purdue rhythm and keep them from getting into it long enough for them to hang around, who knows what can happen 3 minutes left.
Well, then, Johnny, Johnny,
so
then I'm
like I said,
you.
not advocating, just analyzing.
No. You gotta make a decision. NC State or Purdue?
Purdue.
He did all that. He did all that. Hit him with that quote. You hit me. You said I did all that advocating for Mark Few, right? I did all that philosophical talking, right?
It wasn't advocating. We just analyzing here. See, pick them. All right? I just wanted you to make you feel better to pick them. Pick them. Go ahead. Stick with them. You feel crucified a little bit because you don't want to go against Purdue. I just gave you. You're not crazy. I gave you bullet points. You're not crazy. You're not crazy. If you want to
I'm gonna go with Purdue because Zach Edey has too much to lose. He has too much to lose. NC State's gonna be playing with house money because they ain't even expect to get here, and that's the dangerous part because they're gonna play freely in house money. Purdue, I'm scared they might play a little tight, a little tense because it's a lot riding on this. Zach Edey, the type of career he's had, he just gave 40 the last game. The type of guy he is, he's got to go out with a chance, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking the same thing too. I gotta give that edge to Purdue. Even though Johnny, you did make a lot of great points.
He did. Johnny made a lot of points though. That's why I'm low-key mad at him.
We just analyzed. We didn't have it.
It kind of makes me want to pick them. I'm not gonna lie. The thought of them even having,
they're gonna play Houseman. They're playing Houseman.
They're supposed to have Rob Dillingham. That's where he committed to initially.
But see, now this is my thing. This is where I'm kind of like, how would Rob Dillingham? So because DJ Horn, is he still there? If Rob Dillingham is, because they probably wouldn't need to get him at that point if Rob Dillingham.
But we see Rob can play off the bench. Obviously, Rob as a 6-man for NC State.
But listen, when they recruited Rob, they was recruiting him to be the starting point. Like that's the I'm sure that was the promise they was giving him because he was the highest. NC State never had a point guard like him since Dennis Smith Jr. So they clearly promised him like, yo. And I think Rob talked about it a little bit. Like, yo, you'll start, get all the minutes, but what does that do for his development as a player at the end of the day?
Yeah, you're right.
So, granted, he should be with NC State right now, which I honestly would have been thoroughly enjoyed watching him.
For sure.
He's going to the NBA, what he really want to do. And he's put himself in the best position possible to. I don't know, Kyrie. I don't know. NC State, if they had Rob Dillingham, I may have just picked NC State. I probably would
Yeah.
have rolled with NC State to the whole championship game. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But it was just a thought. It was just a thought.
I'm not gonna lie. That's a scary thought, though. That's a scary thought. What if Rob was on this team? He may have took them to the championship game. I'm not gonna lie. He
Yeah,
may have did
but
it.
I gotta give Purdue the slight edge. Johnny, like I said, Johnny made a lot of great points, and I can see the certain tactics that, like you said, that blue collar, that gritty mentality, and that size of and the power of DJ Burns down there with Edie being something different, something Edie hasn't seen all playoffs long. All tournament long. So but I gotta give the edge to Purdue, bro. I think Edie's got too much to lose, and I think he's kind of in that Caitlin Clark position where he's gotta
Right.
see the NBA right in that sunset.
Thank you. Him and Caitlin. Okay, you hit the nail in the coffin. We're gonna end it off on that note. John, you got anything you want to add before we
Listen,
end
we
off?
paying rent this weekend.
Man, stop
Right.
it, bro. I'm done with that.
Yeah.
Listen,
We
you
paying
ain't
rent this
nothing.
weekend.
Let's get
I'm
this
gonna tell you
over
something.
with.
We're gonna bet for NC State not to lose by more than 10.
I'm telling
And
you,
that's how we
NC
pay rent.
State. I think NC State is gonna play loose, and I think Purdue is gonna play a little tense, and that's gonna be a problem.
I agree with that, Colin.
They can't play
Let's
tense
see,
at all.
bro. Let's see if them guards can chase around Purdue's guards, because NC State got the perimeter defenders to go
NC
get some
State
people.
better guards out there.
They're gonna earn every bucket. Purdue's gonna earn every bucket. Plain and simple. They're gonna
But
earn it.
Purdue has Zach Edey, so I guess that kind of
He
nullifies
gonna
it.
earn it too. He gonna earn every bucket.
Sure will. But that concludes episode 102 of the Restricted Zone podcast, man. A hell of an episode. A really long episode compared to the last two episodes you dropped. It's kind of like under 40 minutes.
We
Here we are.
combine both of these joints. You know.
Right. So we definitely hit you guys with a good amount. This is a great episode. We love recording this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy listening to this episode. And thanks a lot for the supporters, the people that leave a like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube channel, the subscribers, all 180 of you guys that subscribe to us. We appreciate it. It means the world to us, and it motivates us to keep going. We love sports, and we love talking about it on a day-to-day basis. So with that being said, you can check us out on Instagram at Restricted Pod. You can check us on YouTube, and you also leave a like, subscribe, and comment. The link will be in the description below. With the RGP Crews Instagram, each and every one of us, you can hit the DMs, ask us topics you could talk about. We're definitely open to it, fun to look over it, and definitely talk about it. If that's something you guys want us to do. And you can check us out on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, you name it, we're there, free 99, don't gotta pay. Just share, support, and just, spread the word. Get us out there. Up and coming podcast, man. Ready to make some waves. So thanks a lot, everyone. Looking forward to this weekend. A couple more episodes in the works. Stay tuned. Just leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the post notifications. You can be up to date. Have a great day, everybody.